Hi guys, we are here to talk about Iceland and give you all the tips that you need to know before you travel. Isn't that right, Holly?
Yeah, that's right, Sean.
Yeah. I've dragged her along for this video. If you've seen our channel before, you know that I'm the one who talks and Holly's...
I'm the one that makes some money.
Well, that's why I brought her on. So today we're going to be giving you all the tips and tricks that we wanted to know before we went to Iceland and some of the stuff we did learn before going to Iceland to save us money. Giving you all the stuff like money, travel tips of Iceland, the weather of Iceland, places in Iceland.
How to not be an idiot in Iceland.
Oh yes, how to not be an idiot in Iceland. There's plenty of stuff that we're going to tell you in this video. So if you're planning to go to Iceland anytime soon, this is the video for you. So the first category I want to talk about is money. And the first question I'm going to ask you is, how expensive was Iceland?
It was expensive. It was city expensive though. It was what you expect from going to Iceland. But that being said, you can do it cheaper.
Yeah, so a pint in Iceland is, was it between £8 to £10?
Yeah. But
maybe a little bit more in certain places at certain times.
just read the menus outside of places. That's what we done.
Yeah, so there's a lot of places, especially food-wise, we ended up saving a lot of money because we went to a lot of cheaper places for food because we'd rather save our money for trips.
And just because it was cheap doesn't mean it was
bad.
It was good food, so.
But our biggest money-saving trip was the hotel that we got, which we worked out that we ended up spending £1,200 each for 6 days, wasn't it?
Yeah, flights, accommodation, transfers, and everything.
Insurance, parking at the airport. The hotel, as you said, and then all the trips we did, all the food that we ate was so it's much. It was about £200 a day roughly for everything, but that was only because we got such a good package deal beforehand.
Because we looked it up one morning at breakfast and I was like, I wonder how much this is like for a night, and I think it was what, £243 for the night. I was like, that's a lot of money. We didn't pay that.
No, we paid £1,000 for the flight, the
accommodation and transfers for both of us.
Yeah, so that was the way we made, saved the most money.
Yeah, 100%.
So my next question was, how do you get the best deal for accommodation and flights and stuff?
Do your research.
Yeah, it saves you so much money. We looked at Kayak, Skyscanner, Edinburgh Airport, Glasgow Airport, and we ended up going to Manchester Airport, which was a bit of a travel for us, but we end up saving hundreds of pounds doing it that way. Because
I think we went on, was it Jet2 holidays originally, or on the beach? Because we looked on there and we're like, right, okay, well that's how much it is for a package, let's see if we can do it cheaper ourselves, which is what we normally do. Yeah, no, you can't. You cannot do it cheaper yourself.
Yeah, the package was really good, and that was with EasyJet.
EasyJet Direct, yeah.
Direct. So how do you travel more on a budget compared to what we did? So obviously we spent about £200 a day. Is there ways we could save money if other people wanted to do it? So like you were saying about the camper van. Yeah,
was it Happy Campers or something like that they were called? They were all over. And there was Indie Hippie, there's a couple of them. If you get one of them, then you will live off of like petrol station food or gas station food as it were as well, which is what you see everyone else doing to save money. Because you've got somewhere to stay, you're not dictated by staying in a capital city either. And food was cheaper. When we hired the car, we saved money that day because we were just on the road, just taking in the sights
snacks and stuff as well. Yeah, so it's definitely saving costs. Other one was next door to us was a hostel, but we looked that up as well actually.
Just as expensive.
Just as expensive, but if you was travelling alone, it'd be cheaper because obviously we split the hotel fee between us. So if you was travelling alone, a hostel might be a better idea.
But definitely look for somewhere that includes breakfast.
Yeah, we got included.
Saved yourself so much money. Like I overheard the receptionist booking someone in for breakfast one morning. It was 2,100. 21. It was a lot of money. Yeah. Basically, it was probably about 15 quid for a breakfast every morning. Like, no.
And also, if you wanted to save money on trips, and you say you still wanted to have the hotel experience, you could go on a bigger trip. We did a lot of smaller size trips with just like, they call it, was it?
Oh, small. There were small tour groups. Yeah, we went on ones that was max 19 people, I think it was, but the coaches take like 50 to 60 people.
The problem we had with a lot of the small tours, a lot of people didn't come back straight away, so you wasted more time on your next stop, or you'd get back later. Imagine that on a massive tour bus and people didn't get back on time. You'd end up wasting so much more trips, and also it being a big bus, they can't get down all the smaller little roads.
No, that's true, they can't. And Iceland in the winter, you get like what, 5 hours a daylight?
Yeah.
You don't want to be losing daylight when you're in Iceland, basically.
Yeah. So the next thing we're talking about is weather. Was it really that cold?
No. No, it was similar to home, but...
Scotland.
Yeah. But all they've said the entire time we were out there was, this is a mild winter, this is this is that. And we actually learned on one of the tours that one of the roads we went down, it's normally shut about 20 times a year.
Yeah.
During the winter. We had it lucky with
very
most
lucky.
of our weather.
So it was, for us, it was between 5 to 0 degrees most of the trip. Again, in the winter, you're looking at below 0 most of your trip in winter. But in summer, again, you're not looking far off of Scottish weather. Like,
no, he says they don't get a warm summer, but it's obviously warmer.
It's not as cold, but I would really pack for coldness still. Like
Pack layers.
Yeah, hat, scarf. Yeah, layers, because you can take it off if it is warm, like we did.
Yeah.
But one day we got absolutely soaked. It was our last day.
Of course it was.
Yeah, we was going down the south coast and
it was torrential.
Yeah.
And we got off at the first stop and I'm like, why are they putting on waterproof trousers? Buy waterproof trousers. Take waterproof trousers. Don't be like us. We were soaked through.
And then there's a point where you walk behind a waterfall on the south coast tour and we got drenched because of it. But
maybe don't do the south coast tour on your last day.
Yes.
Because we had to emergency dry everything to get it in our case.
So, I know you've already touched on it already, but how much sunlight was there in Iceland?
About 5 hours. I mean, we landed at 9:30 in the morning and it was pitch black. Like, not even a glimmer of
We wasn't
sunlight.
expecting that either.
No. I was like, why is it still dark?
But it changes throughout the seasons, all the year. Like the summer, we've got the midnight sun, you were saying.
Yeah, the sun doesn't go down, basically. Bright sun. Whereas in the winter, it was getting dark at 2:30 every day, roughly. But they lose, I think it's roughly about 10 minutes of daylight every day as well.
So if you're planning to go to Iceland, make sure that you want to... But there's the ups and downs of the Iceland in the summer and the winter, because obviously they said in the summer, you've got the whole midnight sun, you can go travelling right around the whole island, you a lot more travel. In the winter you've got the northern lights, you've got ice caves.
Yeah, you're more likely to see, I think it's whales as well,
yes,
during the winter time, whereas...
Well, we saw a seal, didn't we?
We did see a seal. Sean thought it was a dog. Like, have you seen the size of those waves? I really hope it's not a dog, and we're also in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, but I think in the summer months you're more likely to see like the puffins and all the birds of Iceland, where we didn't see them because, well, who blames them?
There wasn't a lot of animals at all either, was
No,
there?
they only have
birds, really.
sheep.
Oh yeah, sheep.
Sheep and horses.
Sheep and horses, but yeah.
But I think the sheep and horses are the only ones that stay during the winter. The rest all, well, and the Arctic fox, obviously, they stay, but we didn't see them either.
No.
You probably have to be up in the Highlands, which you're not allowed to do.
During the winter, because of the F-roads are closed. So that's another thing, so it does stop you a lot of travel. And there was one point that we were travelling up the north and the road just got covered in snow instantly, so we just had to turn back.
It's like, Sean, that looked like rain. It wasn't rain, it was snow.
Snow. It just literally just come down at us and we're like, okay, guess we're going home now.
And it's single track road.
Yeah.
Like, it's a single lane.
Yeah, single lane, so it's... Yeah.
This the entire ring road, so you need to double back. There's no second guessing.
We're now going to talk about seeing the actual country of Iceland, and what are the best tours? What would you say the best tour? If you had to choose one tour that we did, what would be the best
the Northern Lights. It wasn't the most scenic, but we had it really lucky with the tour driver we got.
I enjoyed the Golden Circle
yeah, it was
most,
good as well.
because there was so much different things to see the whole time. And our tour guide was good, but our South Coast tour guide wasn't as good as the other two.
It was a little bit more timid,
and it kind of like, I felt like it would have been as good of a tour, but it is really done on your tour guides if you get a good tour guide. So definitely check reviews of companies for their tour guides as well.
Yeah, we used 2 different companies when we were out there.
Oh yeah, but the same company for 2 different tours as well, and there was still again massive difference in the tour drivers. So yeah, it's all done. But the Golden Circle was a really good tour. Northern Lights was a really good tour. South Coast was a good tour, but very wet. And
I'm glad we'd done it though.
There's a couple we didn't do, was the Blue Lagoon, because how
so much money.
So expensive to go in, and there's so many lagoons in Iceland. There's a Sky Lagoon right next to...
It's in Reykjavik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to the Secret Lagoon, which was
lovely. Out in the middle of nowhere.
So it was the cheapest one we looked up as well, like Yes.
Because we consider going back to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely just do your research and decide what you want to see. Northern Lights again. The hard thing about that was we kind of got told by a receptionist to go.
Listen to the locals.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good day today.
Yeah.
Book it.
Listen to them. They know. They've lived on the island. They know exactly what they're talking about.
A lot of them, if you don't see it, they will either cancel it if they know that it's not going to happen, or if you don't go, you go.
Yeah, you get if you don't see them that night, they put you on the next tour for the next day, which is good.
So also book it for early in the trip. So if you don't see it, then you've got more chances.
Yeah.
Don't miss out if you get a chance. That's one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you don't want to do a tour, and maybe you want to hire a car. How expensive is a car in Iceland?
It was alright.
It wasn't bad. Like
Yeah.
I looked up a company before we went, and it was the Eurocar one, the one that's
Europe car.
It's obviously EasyJet advertises it a lot. It's quite a known brand, and that was looking at about 100, 120 maybe for a day, and that was with the full insurance. Because I always look at the full insurance, so like that's full cover, so minimum like low excess sort of thing.
Liability.
Liability, yeah. So I always look at that sort of thing, and that's about 100. This is small cars. I don't really care about big cars. You didn't really need it because you couldn't go off the roads anyway.
You didn't need it, but that being said, if you were wanting to do more of the off-road, and then get a 4x4, but you don't need one.
Yeah, and they're about double the price. And we paid. So we then went on TikTok, because TikTok's really good when you're travelling. We always look at TikTok and look at quick things.
You normally find discount codes on TikTok as well whilst travelling.
And someone was mentioning about the blue
car rental.
Everyone on TikTok was mentioning about it.
Literally every single travel blogger you could find.
So we went on their thing, and we ended up getting a 15% off on their website anyway. And we ended up paying, was it £70 a day?
Yeah.
So for 2 days, 140. It was a minimum on their terms and conditions. It actually said a minimum of 2. And we were trying to get it for 1, it was the same price obviously for 2.
So we as well have it for the 2 days, and maybe we don't use it. We were paying for it anyway, but we did use it obviously.
So about £140 English, which is really good value, I think.
Yeah.
For hiring a car with full insurance.
And it was an automatic.
Oh yeah, I upgraded a little bit for an automatic. A couple of, was it £3 or £4?
It was £4, yeah.
For an automatic, so it was good.
Less panic.
And they were brilliant. We literally turned up there.
Yeah.
The car was near enough ready, and we booked it the night before, like.
Yeah, you'd done it. He's like,
7 o'clock at night before.
Yeah, because Sean was expecting to have to sign something. He's like, no, you've done it online. Here's the key. See you later. Any questions?
And then dropped it back to him, and he's like, "Did you fill the tank up?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Yeah, cool. See ya. Bye."
Icelanders are very trusting.
Very trusting.
Very trusting people.
But yeah, friendly as well.
Yeah.
So how is it to drive in Iceland? Oh, it's a bit pointless me asking you that, isn't it?
How is it to drive in Iceland? Extremely anxious.
You answering for me, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was more anxious because I've never driven a boat on the wrong side of the road before.
The right side of the road. We drive on the long side of the road.
And so I'd been very anxious about it, and I was like, oh, a lot of roads, and it's obviously a city, it's very stressful, but it was actually the opposite. It was quite quiet. It was
probably like the perfect practice run for Sean to drive on the opposite side of the road.
So if you're like me and you're worried about driving in Iceland, and you think, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to hire a car, I don't know. As long as you've been driving a year and you're over 21?
Over 20. 20.
20 was it?
I think it was 20, yeah.
You can literally hire a car, and it's not bad. Like, obviously getting used to it on the other side of the road, but there's so many signs about telling you, like, this way round roundabout, this way. If you pay attention to the road, you're fine. And especially as soon as you're on like a big motorway, you don't notice what side you're on.
No.
As much as the fact that they overtake you on the opposite side, but you'll get used to it.
It was a fun experience watching an Englishman go around the roundabout the wrong way. When I say fun, it wasn't fun. I had to continually tell him which lane to be in, what side of the road to be on, and not to hit any cars. The car we got was really fuel efficient as well.
Yes, yeah. Also, yeah, so fuel, how much was that roughly?
You put 1,200 in? No, 12,000 in.
12,000.
So whatever 12,000 in Icelandic is, Sean will put it up on the screen.
Yeah, there you go. It was about 60 quid or something. It was probably about the same amount as a fuel tank.
And that was for an entire tank.
Yeah, for a entire tank, and we did quite a few miles.
And Blue Car Rental, that's another thing they give you, is a fob. And it's for certain gas stations, you can tap it and it gives you, I think it was like...
It was worked out a couple of...
4p off or something like that.
4p a litre or something. But yeah.
It's better than nothing.
So next category, it's all about Reykjavik.
Reykjavik. The amount of times I had, you'll see it in the videos, Sean says Reykjavik, Vish, or Reykjavik, and I'm like, it's Reykjavik, Vic. It's not hard.
Anyway, so this is the category all about them. The first question I'm going to ask you is, so how do you get around the sea? What's the best way of getting around the sea?
Scooters.
The scooters are amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
or to be fair, you can walk it, but
there's certain parts, if you go down the high street, then definitely walk it, because you can't really take your scooters.
The hop scooters are fun.
But the hop, yeah, we took the hop scooter from literally one side of Reykjavik to the other side.
Yeah.
Using this scooter.
Would it took us about an hour and a half to walk it? I think we've done it.
We did in a half hour or something.
Yeah.
And it cost us about £6 each for a half hour. So it's worked out about £12 an hour if you use these scooters. So you see them around. All you do is literally scan your phone on it, and it literally downloads an app, and then it costs you like 100 to just get on it, and then it's 30 a minute. Which works
in krona, not pounds.
Which works out about like, was it 60 odd 70p for the first jump on, sort of like that. Yeah. And then it's like
70p and then
20p a minute,
23p a minute.
Or something like that. It wasn't that expensive, but like, especially they're great fun if you get a chance. Like, especially down the little coastal bits, just to drive.
Yeah, they've got cycle paths or scooter paths, as it were, for them, and traffic lights to follow, which is bizarre but fun.
The city's built for it.
No, you get around the city quicker than half the cars do.
Oh yeah.
Because they go like 20 kilometres an hour, and I think the speed limit is something like 30.
Yeah. we got up to 25 or 26 at one point, and it was just like we're literally going faster than most cars and stuff, and just bombing it past. And we're getting around the city quick. And the good thing is you can just chuck them down, not literally, but you put them down, park them up, and then just get off and walk.
Yeah.
So say for example you just driving around, you go, oh, there's a nice shop there or a nice cafe. You just park it up and just get in. How many times we drove into the blue car rental, didn't we? Both times and there and back.
Makes sense. And there's always some around.
You can use the app to find them as well. Yeah. So they're definitely the easiest way to get around the city.
It's
We didn't even use a bus or anything. We normally use all public transports. You
don't really need them. Like the buses and stuff, unless you're using them to get to the airport and things like that. But I think I've seen the bus go along the front of where our hotel was once, maybe twice, and that was it.
Yeah, that's what I thought, and I thought that was the airport buses when I saw them as well.
Yeah.
So what are the must-see places in the city? See how I used the city instead of...
In Reykjavik?
Yeah.
Rainbow Road.
Yeah, remember. The church lookout point.
I can't remember what the church is called now, but it's an old Lutheran church, and if you go up Rainbow Road you'll see it. It's huge.
You can't miss it. It's the only thing you do see.
It's the highest building, I think, in Reykjavik.
I think it's the whole of Iceland, isn't it, did you say?
Oh, it wouldn't be hard. Iceland's flat, apart from obviously it's volcanoes, but everything else is mad.
The lighthouse was pretty cool to see as well, wasn't it?
It was cool, yeah.
We saw that in the morning and we had a good look out on that.
The Sun Voyager. Oh, Flyover Iceland.
Oh, Flyover Iceland was pretty cool to see.
Yeah. If you aren't planning on travelling outside of the city, it's a surefire way to see it all. Yeah.
Oh, that was we travelled to Flyover Iceland. It's really expensive. Like it's £30 each.
Yeah, it's
probably it is, but
it's a tourism attraction, so it's gonna be.
It's the same price as we said on the
same
video.
as Titanic Museum.
And Guinness Museum and stuff like that, and everywhere we've been, they were about the same sort of price. But the best thing about this was I got next to, I don't know if she was an Icelander or she was...
I think she was Spanish.
Or something like this old wee lady, and she's like going crazy when you're going up and down this ride, because you technically strapped in, and it's just it sprays you in the face, this ride. It's really good. It's
a 4D kind of
roller coaster, but not like too much. It's kid friendly as well. Yeah, definitely worth, like if it's a rainy day, it's definitely worth going and have a look at. Yeah, which is what we done because it was a rainy day. Fish Market Harbour. Yeah, go down to the harbour. We went down there originally to go to the Om chocolate shop because we'd seen it on a documentary that we watched. The Zac Efron one. Which is also really good. Down there, watch that. Anyway, we went down there. And then we were walking back and Sean seen a food hall. Yeah. Like a street food, I think Street food, so it's loads of different vendors inside one building. And being the British man that he is, he fancied fish and chips. So we went in there. It turns out it was the Iceland fish market, which
They auction the fish online every day
Yeah.
at 1 p.m.
Yeah, so it was really good.
Yeah.
We got really fresh fish and chips.
Tasty.
That was good.
And it was pretty decently priced as well, but it could have been that we were there at, I think it was happy hour at the time, and it included a pint. It was cheaper to have with a meal.
Yeah, a pint and a fish and chips for like, was it £20 each or something like that? Wasn't bad. We got some good deals on our food, but you go through the food and some of the places were ridiculously priced.
Starters are the same price as mines.
Everywhere, near enough,
Everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, and soups are ridiculously priced.
Yeah, we bought the most expensive soup, I think probably known to man. It was tasty, and it was a good soup, but it was like something stupid like £31.
I think it was for the two of us, sort of £15 a soup.
It was like, oh. Don't buy food at tourist attractions.
Yeah, maybe.
Take a sandwich with you, don't be like us.
Our next category is all about drones in Iceland, and you love my drone, don't you?
The amount of times I had to tell Sean that he could not fly his drone, he's like, but why? It's pretty. I'm like, because it's one, there's seagulls everywhere, two, it's like 60 mph winds. No.
So my first question is, can you fly a drone in Iceland?
Yeah,
and
you can.
You can. And the rules, if you're flying a drone in the UK, you'll know some of the rules. And they're very similar rules. A couple of things you need to add to it. Again, it's 120 metres up. You need to put your name and address on your drone. That was the one thing different. And again, it's cities.
Just follow the rules.
Yeah, cities and airports. And there's a DJI shop in the...
if you're unsure,
which
visit it.
has a little map, a little thing that tells
Sean
you
picked up a sheet from it,
what you can and can't do in Iceland, which is good. But there's a couple of places that you can't fly your drone in Iceland, and it's
most of the tourist attractions.
Most of the tourist attractions, like so, Blue Lagoon you won't be able to fly at. We wasn't at Blue Lagoon, but we know that. Secret Lagoon, you technically could, but there wasn't really much to see there.
Yeah, no.
Like from that height, the geysers you couldn't. Most of the waterfalls you couldn't. We went down the south coast. You couldn't fly it.
Most of them you wouldn't want to because you're around a lot of geothermal activity as well, and you don't know if like a hot spring's going to erupt or like.
So my recommendation, if you do want to fly a drone, is to hire a car. Because when we hired a car, we had some of the best shots we got from my drone was from hiring a car. Because I literally pulled over the road. We found this. Remember that when we found a random like seat in the middle of nowhere, like a bench?
Yeah, there's a lot of places that you're like, really?
So we got this bench, and I got the most beautiful shot of going across this like golden landscape.
Farms, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Farmland, yeah.
And obviously the sun was brilliant at that time, and then the background was the mountains. I also got frozen waterfalls, and then went across a volcano at one point.
I was like, don't go too far, because it was still smoking.
And you'll see there's people walking across the volcano. Oh, don't get started. You wait until you see that episode.
Don't be an idiot in Iceland.
Oh. Now we're just going to give you some tips that we wish we knew or we found out just before we went. Get alcohol from duty free.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So it was. Where did we read this? It was
a TikTok.
TikTok again.
But you don't really have any other choice. You are going to go through duty free as you land. You may as well buy it.
And it's we bought a bottle of Reykjavik rum.
Rum, yeah.
And it was £17, which is really good.
Considering
for a litre, wasn't it?
It was 70 cl. I don't think it was a litre. But if you were to buy that, like a shot of that, you're probably talking about the same price.
Yeah, for a shot. Yeah. So if you are drinkers and you want to pre-drink, then it's probably going to save you some money. So get some alcohol for your room. There's beers, everything at the duty free, and they're good value. And if you might think they're expensive, but if you think that's expensive for duty free, wait until you get.
When they add another 30% tax on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's definitely worth getting. Another tip we can give you is drink more water. So the reason to drink more water is because it's winter. During the winter, you're going from outside to the cold.
It's hot
and then dry. And then you're into buildings, and every single building you go in has got heating on. So you're drying yourself out, and then there's like obviously the thermal stuff you're going to see, like the pools and stuff. Apparently you're meant to drink more water for that. And then every vehicle you go in, they've got air conditioning or heating on, and you just forget to drink water. So just drink more water.
Also drink it because it's apparently the best water you can get in the world, because it's, even the tap water is from glaciers.
Yeah.
So it's, goes without saying. You don't have to buy bottled water. Take a bottle with you, fill it from the tap.
Talking about water, people don't know that it's going to smell.
Yeah.
So
it's not bad.
It's not bad. It does smell like it has a what sort of?
It's sulphur.
Yeah, sulphur smells like.
It's like the tiniest amount. It's like the smell they put in gas here for us to know that you can smell it. It's not bad.
It's not bad, and you kind of get used to it. Like,
yeah,
it's everywhere. The smell is like, you put your shower on, you can smell it. When you get to the geysers, you can smell it.
Yeah.
But like, you kind of get used to it, and it's weird. When we got back to Manchester, I could smell chlorine in like the.
And we were in the Trafford Centre, and you could smell it in the pool.
In the pool, in the waterfall.
Yeah.
And they don't use chlorine at all out there, do they?
And any of the lagoons.
Yeah.
They're all naturally cleansing.
So yeah, the water does smell, but it is naturally clean, so it's good.
It's also really good for your skin.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. So
it makes your skin so soft.
I've got. I don't know if you can see it, but my hand's a little bit red.
It's got like an eczema breakout, kind of.
Yeah, from where I work with plasters and chemicals and stuff, it kind of made my skin. But while I was out there, it's cleared it up a little bit more, so it's good. So a lot of places you go to, people can't understand English as well.
They can understand me though.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get. Scottish, they can understand the Scottish accent better than
any English accent, not just you. Yeah. No, it was any. Some of the tours, I would speak to them and they were like, "Oh yeah." You would speak, and they're like, "What?" Like, well, this is good.
But no, everyone in Iceland can near us speak English.
Yeah, it's their third language,
and it's their third language, which is mad. It's like being.
One of our tour guys though was very upset by the English language. He's like, "Your language makes no sense. where, there. I don't like it." I was like, "Sorry."
Oh, something that we didn't use is the Appy Hour.
Oh yeah, Sean was so excited about it and downloaded it. We didn't use it once.
There's an app you can get. It was in our guidebook, and it said Appy Hour, so it's spelled app.
Like happy, but drop the H.
Yeah, and it literally gives you all the places where happy hour is in Iceland.
We just don't use it because we're not massive drinkers.
But yeah, so it gives you all the different times and different places, so you could technically do a bar crawl and save money if you use that app.
Most of the happy hour is between 4 and 7 though.
Yeah, so one of them I saw at 12 and...
Really?
12 till 7, but it's literally any time after like the actual drinking time is when it gets more expensive.
Yeah, they ideally want you to be in your bed by 8 o'clock in Reykjavik, which we were most nights, because the dark takes out of you. That's one thing that I will have to say.
Yeah. It
gets dark around 3 and you realise you're tired earlier than what you would at home.
Yeah. the last thing we want to tell you is don't be that guy on the tour. Yeah. You know if you're that guy. You're the guy that turns up late. You're the guy that wants to ask everyone questions and they're like, oh, I don't want to talk to you. You're that guy. Don't be that guy on the tour.
You're the guy that shows up when you're told that it's going to be slippery in vans.
Oh yes, there was a van guy.
You're the guy that reads the instructions at an active volcano and goes, "No, I'm just going to walk on anyway."
You're the guy that drives down a beach
and gets himself
stuck after reading multiple signs telling you, "Do not go off the road."
Off the road. You're the guy that thinks that he's paying 3,000 euros for a burger and chips. Don't be that guy.
Yeah. There will be an article on this. I am writing an article on all the people that we saw in Iceland that just made us go. And it's going to be quite a funny article.
It was cathartic at one point, just to sit and be like, this person.
And yeah, so look forward to that article, but mainly look forward to our series that we've just started. This is the first episode in the series, and it is our vlogging series on Iceland. We start in Manchester and we make our way around Iceland. We see
Manchester to Keflavik, then we see Reykjavik, then we do the Golden Circle tour.
No, you missed out the Northern Lights.
Sorry. Then we see the Northern Lights, then we do the Golden Circle tour. Then we hire a car for 2 days and we see the north and the southwest. So
that's what you're looking forward to. It's going to be amazing, and make sure you stay tuned. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and see you again